Right, hey guys, welcome back to Total Tactics Football. This is Fran. My co-host Mehdi today is missing, and I'll be covering the Manchester United versus Arsenal game, where Arsenal were able to kind of reverse history and finally win at Old Trafford. This was a game where I think Arsenal showed a lot of attacking prowess, and on the other hand, Manchester United didn't offer much in return. Arsenal started out with a sort of 4-3-3 structure that we've seen lately with Partey coming in. We have Saka playing, and what he does is effectively morph the team in transition to a 4-2-2 structure. A 4-2-2-2 structure. So El plays a sweeping role where he plays almost as part of the back three, and this allows both Tierney and Bellerin at times to constantly push forward, whereas Partey is part of a sort of counter diamond that's created by Willian on the right, Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette in the center. This was very effective because Partey was able to sort of mark either one of the double pivot in McTominay and Pogba. And the interesting thing was with Partey being so solid in terms of being able to sweep up the balls, he was able to constantly start these counter attacks through either the left or right hand side. Here we have an instance where Partey breaks up the play and goes for the outside the foot pass to Willian, who's able to further lay off the ball to Bellerin. And this sort of combination where Bellerin is able to cross to the back post on the left to Aubameyang was very effective. In this sort of formation, we have Saka, who plays almost in the half spaces for Arsenal. He plays in a left inside forward position, and this allows Aubameyang to push up at times in transition as a second striker. And we can see here where Lacazette's able to break up a play, and Aubameyang and Lacazette play together almost as a front two and create plays together as so. And with Saka pushing in, this also allows Tierney to kind of hold a sort of very advanced left wing position. So we have that sort of symmetry there with the fullbacks. And this was a constant threat for United because with the diamond they play so narrow, this actually allows for Arsenal to have a lot of spaces and time for the fullbacks to cross. And I think Man United didn't have the answers for that because either one of McTominay and Pogba aren't as good as crashing into the sides and being able to break up plays. And this was obviously very evident in the penalty given away. Pogba unfortunately lazily lunges in and is second to the ball, and Bellerin is able to kind of snatch a penalty, which eventually kind of culminated in the win. But it's more about the fact that Arsenal are able to create plays from these interplays between the winger and the fullback, which United weren't able to do in turn. And so the clash of tactics means that Man United's diamond, which worked so well versus Paris and Red Bull, really met its match in terms of Arsenal's defensive base. So Man United today, they opted for a 4-3-1-2 structure. This is largely due to the fact that Martial is not playing right now, and they've gone for sort of Rashford and Greenwood as strikers. But what they do, in fact, is sort of drift onto the sides, and Bruno plays as a 10 at times and also almost as a striker, but he, in his free roaming role at United, is allowed to kind of fill in the gaps spatially and kind of go into the wings and create plays there. The issue, of course, is that even in this sort of narrow, compact structure, you are very much reliant on Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's ability to sort of create attacking plays and create these interplays and triangles, and it just doesn't sort of hold the same sort of threat for me when I see Man United operate and kind of have this reliance on using the fullbacks. I think Man United are best when they are able to kind of play a little bit more offensively and gamble a little bit more. With McTominay and Fred, you have two more defensive players who are strong and stable, but I think they don't give the sort of same balance where United are able to push forward, and Pogba and Fernandes are both allowed to go in at times and create alongside Rashford in these beautiful 1-2s, which is what they're most sort of famous for and most strong with. With Fred, you had him playing in the Matic role today. He once again drops back as part of as a back three, but ultimately I think he wasn't able to create and break up plays effectively to be able to redistribute the ball to Pogba and McTominay. In a sense, this made it so much harder for Fernandes to get onto the ball because he played in such an advanced position where he wasn't able to get much touches. And in recent memory, we have Fernandes dropping beautiful dimes, beautiful deep through balls to Rashford, but with Arsenal's compact shape, this just wasn't the case. I think Gabriel and Holding played fabulously, and ultimately Rashford had one or two chances, as well did Greenwood, but nothing really concrete. And that's the main issue. There are just no attacking sort of interplays inside this diamond structure. And whilst obviously at times you have Pogba dropping deep to create, there's not that sort of same attacking threat when Martial plays as a centre forward archetype. He is usually someone who's able to kind of hold defenders back, and this pegging of defenders back allows Fernandes to kind of go in behind and go for shots and to open up these sort of vertical passing lanes for himself into someone like Rashford or Greenwood. And today this wasn't the case because El Neni played the sweeper role very effectively, and there just wasn't the ability for United to actually retain the ball and actually progress the ball effectively. I think ultimately Arsenal should be given a lot of credit because this has very much come from the sort of defensive base that has been, I think, maximized in a sense by Partey. Partey's box-to-box ability is really crucial here because not only can he break up plays, he also instigates them. And I think today we saw how essential he is. And it's sort of frightening to me to see this Arsenal side playing so well. I think the only issue now is being able to kind of hone in on the interplays where, for example, Aubameyang needs to be a little bit more decisive with how he plays off of, for example, Bellerin's crosses, and this side will be very lethal. And obviously, in the future, when you think about perhaps Arsenal adding further attacking options, that's going to create a lot more issues when they play within the sort of 4-3-3 structure, and they can play perhaps a little bit more static at times, and maybe rely on a centre midfielder who can play alongside Partey and has vertical sort of passing progression like someone like Awar. And I think in terms of United, you have to kind of question whether Solskjaer has gone with the right option here. I think he's gone a little bit with the recency bias in terms of playing with defensive players, and it definitely has to be questioned because Man United just weren't able to kind of attack today.